Today I'm gonna do a nice little vegetarian dish. It's something that I've done before using similar or the same ingredients, but I'm doing a little twist on it today. So I'm doing a little one pot green fig and pigeon peas cook up. And I have some basic ingredients and a pumpkin here, and a carrot, some pimento, onion, garlic, pigeon peas of course, and some green fig. Before we jump into the recipe, I want to talk a little bit about green fig. Growing up in Mova, green fig is something that you would see all over the place. I mean, almost everybody had a fig tree in it. And I think this kind of holds true for a lot of areas in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not saying that everywhere that you go in Trinidad and Tobago, you will see green fig, but in a lot of areas, it's something that you could find, and it's something I think we overlook a lot in terms of being part of our diets. People sell green fig in the market, but the thing is, green fig is something so ubiquitous to Trinidad and Tobago, something that people just have growing that they oftentimes don't utilize, and they just have it there. I think, it's something that we could use a lot more in our cooking, and especially now that people feeling it with this pandemic and kind of strapped for cash and, have it hard. A lot of people who have green fig trees, are kind of calling on you to donate, as it were. Families in need, friends who might be, having a tough time and that kind of thing. If you have a fig tree, find a way to get your figs, your green fig, to people who might need it. It's a great substitute for like rice or even making like dumpling and that kind of thing. You could use green fig. It's versatile. You can use it in a myriad of ways. Today I'm just going to show you a nice little one pot way. And I mean, I don't have it totally figured out in how to distribute your green fig to people who may need it. If you have a local veggie mart that you just deal with, maybe you could, drop off a grappa fig for the vendor and kind of, ask them to, be decent and not sell it. But if, somebody come by and, asking for food or asking for items on credit and that kind of thing, yeah, bless them with a hand of fig. I think it's something that we could do to just, kind of be our brothers and sisters, keepers in a time like this. So something to consider. And if you have any ideas or a better idea on how we could turn this into something of a national campaign of sorts, feel free to drop it in the comments and, let me get involved in kind of, taking care of each other and building community. Community vibes is what we need right now. So, that's something to consider, and let me get on with the recipe. And there's the kind of recipe where you don't need to stick to exactly how I'm making it. There's just a guide on how to utilize green fig in your dishes. It's a quick way if you don't have a whole set of time to spend on cooking elaborate dishes. There's, a nice quick way to utilize green fig and turn it into something delicious. Chopping up some pimento. Dicing this carrot. Have some garlic here. And I'm going to peel and cut up this piece of pumpkin here. And removing the skin off the green fig real easy. Just cut the stem off. Cut one. Cut down here on one side. Cut it down like this on the other side. Cut the tip off. And then just peel it off like this. You also want to make sure that you put your green fig in water when you cut it up so that it doesn't oxidize. And I know typically most dishes would boil the green fig separate, but because I'm going for a one pot finish here, Going to cook it with the peas and everything one time. Going to start the ball rolling on the stew with a little oil in the pot. Then I'm going in with about a tablespoon of brown sugar, not too much. And I know a lot of people have challenges with stewing. That's one of the most intimidating processes when it comes to cooking local food, but it's really no rocket science, to be honest. What you have to do is make sure that you keep your eye on the pot. So we have the brown sugar in there with the oil, and it's all timing. Do not use a metal spoon to stew. You want to use either one of these kind of rubber spatulas or a wooden spoon. If you use a metal spoon, all the sugar will end up sticking to the spoon. So no metal spoon, you want to use a wooden spoon or one of these kind of rubber spatula things. And as soon as it starts to bubble, you want to start to move it around in the pot. Just kind of stir it around. And it's all a timing thing, because as soon as it starts to froth up and then turn color, as soon as it goes dark brown, which is at this point, now you want to add in your legumes and your aromatics. Onions, garlic, pimento, add in the pumpkin, carrots. And you want to give this a stir. Seasoning with some salt. Grating in about a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. Add in about a tablespoon of ruku. Add in 1 bay leaf. Gonna add in our green fig. Toss that up. And I'm going to cover this and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes later, looking good here. A cup and a half of coconut milk. Give that a little stir. I'm going to add a Scotch bonnet pepper. Cover this, reduce it to low heat, and I want to let this simmer for about 8 minutes. 8 minutes later, looking good. Just want to finish off with some chive, thyme, and parsley. Fishing out the Scotch bonnet so we don't burst it in the pot. I mean, if you want it burst and you want it real spicy, that is totally up to you. Just give this a toss. Just going to cover this down again for a minute or so, and we'll be good to go. All right, so there's it here. Final thing, and I mean, look how we're looking here. Real delicious. And I'm gonna just dig in here and organize myself a little plate. I ain't going in for too much, just a little 1 spoon. Now let's drop some cucumber at the side there. Fresh cucumber for a little fresh bite in the dish. And there we have it, our vegetarian 1-pot green fig and pigeon pea stew. Let's dig in one time. The green fig soft and tender. And again, all them aromatics coming through. The onion, the garlic, the pimento. Nice stew flavor with the ruku and the bay leaf. And again, you can make this your own, you know. You could add your own little twist to this if you wanted to add a little curry, as I say, masala. You can make it spicier if you want. You know, there's just a guide on how you could use green fig. You know, something that is ubiquitous in Trinidad and Tobago and tends to be overlooked, I think, in the conversation about food and food sustainability and that kind of thing. So, green fig, we're really sleeping on the green fig. Yes, we have the other provisions. We have like cassava, dasheen, and that kind of thing. Potato, sweet potato. But definitely I think we need to be eating more green fig, using them more in dishes. And again, if you have green fig at your disposal, if you have a couple trees in your yard and it growing, you know, harvest them, cut them, share them with a neighbor, share them with a family member, a relative, share it with your friends. If you have a local vendor, you just go by, give it to the vendor and ask him to distribute it. You know, somebody come in and, you know, they're looking to stretch $1. You know, just give it away. They don't need to sell it. They shouldn't sell it because you're giving it to them for free, so let them pay it forward and, you know, give it to somebody who might be in need. And I think that way, you know, we could, you know, try to build community in that way and help each other out. So if you like this recipe, please give the video a thumbs up, give it a share. And like I said, if you have any other ideas or any organizations who, you know, would be willing to look into this or participate in this green fig campaign, as it were, then yeah, you know, share this video with them. That we get everybody involved as much as they can, you know. There's a time we really need to kind of come together and help each other out, so let me make it happen. As always, the full recipe will be posted in a link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.